Hi guys, welcome back to the Little Piece of Heaven Farm. And today we're back in the kitchen. That's right, it is canning season. We are going to can up cherries. We're going to make a sweet cherry barbecue sauce. Sounds good, right? Yeah, it does. Alright, stay tuned and we'll get this going here shortly. Okay guys, we're going to get this show on the road. The recipe is good. I'm going to double it for me, but the normal recipe is 3 pounds of cherries, and I'm using 6. It only really yields like the 3 pounds of cherries. It only yields 4 to 5 half-pint jars. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to can it in pint jars. So I'm doubling it because the little 8-ounce jars, I don't think that's enough for barbecue sauce. So why not a pint? I mean, the time is still the same for a pint or a half pint. So it was 6 cups of cherries, 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And that's going to go in. And if you're going to be following me, it's 3 cups. I got my cheat sheet here. It's 3 pounds of cherries, 1 pound of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of minced onion, 2 cloves of garlic crushed, 2 teaspoons of paprika, or regular or smoked, whatever you have, 2 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of chili powder, and a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So all of mine is going to be doubled. So I put in 6 pounds of cherries and 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. I have 2 cups of onion, 2 cups of brown sugar, and my homemade canned garlic. When you're canning really fresh garlic to be shelf stable, if I can speak today, it's probably this heat wave we're having, it will tend to turn blue. It's still fine. It's not moldy or whatever. It's the enzymes in the garlic that acts with the vinegar and makes it blue, which is fine. So we're going to do a couple teaspoons, hefty teaspoons of my garlic, which will be like a couple cloves. And I am going to be putting out a video on this, how to do your own garlic. And you could do it also where you don't have to can it to be shelf stable. You can have it in your fridge for up to a year. Isn't that cool? So stay tuned for that video. That's going to be something neat. And we're going to cook this for 20 minutes, and then you can put it in a food processor or a blender. I'm going to be using my immersion blender. And now for the spices. Okay, here's my chili powder. I'm going to need 2 teaspoons. Paprika. I'm going to need 4. And mine's just plain paprika, that's what I have on hand. And for cayenne, it's just a teaspoon. That I'm going to be putting in. For you, if you're just doing a 3 pound of cherries, then it's just a half. So we're going to cook this down. Let me find my big spoon. And we're going to stir this up. And yeah, I have to use my stool so I can see in the pot. Okay, we're going to put the lid on. We're going to let this simmer here for a little bit, and I'll bring you back. Okay, we're going to check our cherries. Starting to smell really, really good. They're nice and soft. Okay, the recipe says we're going to continue to cook the cherries with the lid off, and it's supposed to reduce down to half. So, and then we're going to take it off the stove. We're going to use our immersion blender, and if you don't have an immersion blender, you can use your food processor, a blender, or you can just do the old-fashioned way of using a potato masher if that's all you have. And I meant to tell you, I did de-pit the cherries before I put them in. So they were all de-pitted. And I got these cherries at work. They were on sale, so I bought a case. And made the produce department pretty happy. So yeah, so we're going to cook these for about another 10-15 minutes with the lid off, so they can reduce down, and then we're going to merge them up, and then we'll can them up. And then they're going to go into the water bath canner. As you can see, I don't have my water bath canner here. It's in the mud room. And that's where I'm going to can the jars. Because we're in the middle of a heat wave. And let me tell you, my kitchen right now is probably close to 95 degrees. And I'm already starting to sweat. So, hopefully I don't pass out, right? Well, anyway, I've been drinking a lot of water, so don't worry, guys. I'm fine. And I do step out of the kitchen a little bit to get cooled off in the air conditioner. I just didn't want the air conditioner to work twice as hard while I'm heating up this kitchen. And I wish I had the biggest freezer available, like as big as my little barn. That would be great. Where I just freeze everything from the summer and then can in the winter and heat up the house. Wouldn't that have been awesome? But hey, it is what it is. Canning does make your house hot, but you gotta love the rewards. So anyway, guys, I'll bring you back in about 15 minutes. Okay, guys, we're gonna take the cherries off the burner, and I'm gonna take you to the other counter on the other side, and we're gonna use a merchant blender. We're gonna blend these up and see how thick it is. If it's still a little watery, we're gonna put it back on the stove and let it cook for a little bit so you can get thicker. Okay? Okay, we're gonna merge these up. Okay, it's a little watery still. We're going to cook it down just a little bit more, probably for about another 15 minutes, and we'll see how that goes. We'll go right back to the stove. Okay, we're going to put it back on the stove, and we're going to set our timer for 20 minutes. And see if that will help it get a little thicker, and then we'll can it up. Okay, guys, it's been another 20 minutes. It's cooked down pretty much, and it's going to be as thick as it's going to get. Sitting over time, it will get thicker. So we're going to pull it off the stove. And we'll get our canning jars, and we'll start getting this guy up. Okay, let's see how many jars we can get. I have the first 4 out, and we're going to only give them an inch head space. It smells good. And I noticed there is some chunks of cherries that I didn't get all blended up, but that's not a problem to me. I can't wait to try this. Smells so good. I've just been trying to figure out other recipes I could use with cherries, and I came across this recipe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds just so good. Okay, we're going to wipe our rims. We don't have to debubble because it's liquid. And we're going to get all the rim wiped down. Make sure there's no debris. Know one thing, it's really hot in this kitchen. It's 108 today, and it's a heat wave. And what the news people say, it's once in 1,000 years that we get it this early. And it's like, yeah, because it's normally like August when we get a couple days of really high heat, and this is, you know, the end of June. It's just ridiculous. And yes, we're canning with our glass lids. Oh, let me see if I can find a different top for this one. That one's pretty wide. Some of these lids are just a little different, and you gotta have a different ring for them, which is, it could hinder your cleaning. Okay. Whew. These jars are piping hot. Alright guys, I'm going to bring you back after I have the canner loaded. Okay guys, they're in the canner. We got 6 pints. That's a plus. That's 6 more jars on the pantry shelf, and it's barbecue sauce. Sweet cherry. I can't wait. Well, I have some left, just a little bit, and I'm going to put that in a little 4-ounce jar, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge we're going to water bath can these for 15 minutes, and then I'll see you guys when they're coming out of the canner. Okay guys, it's the next day, and there is our cherry barbecue sauce. Looks pretty good. So thanks for hanging out with me and doing a barbecue sauce for this summer. This is an awesome idea. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.